Hey guys, it's me, Emil, back with a deck tech of an Orzhov deck that I built just a couple days ago. I've been playtesting it, and I thought I'd show it to you guys. So, I'm going to show it to you guys, and after this video, I want you guys to tell me what I can do to make this deck better. I want to hear your suggestions in the comments below, so I look forward to seeing them, and then we can build this deck together after that. So let me start with the basics. Let's go by the different drops. So, start off here. We have two 1-drops, and so this is a black-white deck. It's a Orzhov deck, so it basically the win conditions of this deck are getting you down to a pretty low life amount with my early drops, my 1, 2, 3, and 4 drops, including Alms Beast, and then extort you to death in the end. So if we and the second win condition that this deck has is the, if you guys have heard of it, the infinite combo in standard right now for infinite life. Not the Boros Reckoner one, but the exquisite blood one. So here, if you look at these two cards, so what they do is, this one says, whenever you gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. And this one says, whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So if you activate this ability, the second one over here, if you activate that with this, then and you gain 1 life, or you deal 1 damage to them, which you could do with extort or just attack them. It starts the infinite combo, and you get infinite life. So if you can pull it, so I run 2 of each. So it's not my every game win plan, but I can pull it off, and it works just fine. So those are the 2 win conditions. So now I'm gonna start with the cards. Here we've got a throw. So we've got 2 throw parasites. So throw parasite is a 1-drop with extort. So this can get my early extort going. So I can get extort in the beginning, then attack, and then get it in the end to kill them off. So here we have throw parasite with this is the earliest extort, the 1-drop. So we've got throw parasite. There are a lot of cards with extort here. So I get as much extort as I can. Now that's our only 1-drop, so let's go to 2 drops. Here we've got Syndic of Tides. You guys might know him because he's a limited. He's a really good card in draft for white. So it's a bear. A bear is usually 2/2 for 2, but it also has extort. So it's not only is it going to be attacking for 2 every turn. Well, in limited, you usually can't attack too much with it in constructed, but in limited, it would attack for 2 every turn and extort when you had the extra mana. But in constructed, it still extorts, and extort. The whole point of this deck is to see how well extort works in constructed, and I've seen that it works quite well. So that's another one of our extorters, along with Basilica Screecher. And it has evasion, and it's a 1/2. So this we play just for the evasion, and it extorts. And our Guild Mage. So again, it's in here mainly for the infinite life combo, but the giving something lifelink could work well too if I need it. Let's say they get me down really quickly with Boros, they get me down something low, then I can give this guy lifelink. Then we've also got Blind Obedience as a 2-drop. So Blind Obedience, it basically shuts off Boros. So most Boros just gets completely, like, Boros is about going fast with haste, guys, and getting Battalion off. But this turns off any haste by your opponents, and it gets you almost a turn ahead. So if you can get it out turn 2, then they're a turn behind you. So it works well, and it has extort. Again, extort is this deck works around extort. Then we've got our removal 2-drops. So we've got Ultimate Price, which is situation or pseudo removal, because it only works on monocolored creatures. But I run 2 main deck and 2 sideboard on here, because a lot of bombs that you want to destroy are monocolored, so it's worth running 2, and then if they run a lot of monocolored creatures, then you can put 2 more in. And we've also got Orzhov Charm, which is the black-white charm, and basically it's pretty good. So it can save. So it has if you guys don't know, every charm has 3 abilities that you can choose one of them. So the first one on this, it can save one of your guys from removal. So if you return it to your hand, and I don't run any auras in this deck, but if I did, it would return the auras too. Then it's also just a destroy target creature, which is really strong, but you do lose life equal to its toughness, which hurts. But if you need to destroy a creature because it's gonna kill you next turn, then you can do that. And the last one is not going to be played that much in this deck, but you can return target creature card with a converted mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So if one of my throw parasites dies and I don't have much else to do, I could return the throw parasite, and I could, so that just works. That's the only thing that it works with. That's not, this is more in here for saving something from removal or removing something on its own. Okay, let's go to 3-drop. So, in the 3-drop slot, we run Kingpin's Pet. So, it's a evasion 2/2 extorter. So, again, extort is the main reason that it's in here. It's pretty good otherwise, too. I mean, a 2/2 flyer, it's fine. It's probably not constructed playable, except for the extort. And we've also got Murders. And Murder is the destroy any creature anytime, it's dead. Well, unless they counter it, but assuming it resolves, it destroys any creature anytime. You don't lose any life like Orzhov Charm makes you do, and it's not only monocolored like Ultimate Prey, so it's a strong card. Those are all of our 3-drops. So 4-drops, we've got quite a few here. We've got, to start off, Alms Beast. So, Alms Beast is a 6/6 for 4, which is very strong on turn 4. It's one of the biggest things that you can play on turn 4 without any ramp. So turn 4, Alms Beast is very strong. We've got we've also got again, let me remind you that creatures blocking it or blocked by it have lifelink, so your opponents do gain life, but hopefully that life can get canceled out with all the extort that you're doing and with your piling on creatures. In the 4-drop slot, we also run Cryptghasts. So Cryptghast is the black ramp, but your swamps, it's only your swamps, not plains, so your swamps tap for an extra black. But what you could do is Godless Shrine, which is a swamp. You could tap it for white and then add black, so then you just added white-black into your mana base, and you can play Orzhov Charm or any other 2-drop. Along with those 4-drops, we also have Mutilate, which is the only real board wipe, so to speak, that I run in this deck. I could run Merciless Eviction, but I decided that it's not that strong in this deck because this deck piles creatures out, mainly with Extort, and then you play a small creature. Like, let's say you have Syndic, Bazooka Screecher, and Throw Parasite on the board, and it's turn 5, so you can play your other small creature, which is Syndic of Tides, and Extort. And Merciless Eviction, turn 6 after you have all your creatures out like that, isn't going to help, but Mutilate can get the job done if you're in trouble, and this deck runs 14 swamps out of its 23 lands, so if you need it, Mutilate can save you if you're in a bad position, but I don't run Merciless Eviction because it wouldn't work too well with my current deck. And now for the 5-drops, we have Exquisite Blood, which is whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. As I already mentioned, it infinite combos with Copa Guild Mage. So that's the only reason it's in here. If I happen to run into, let's say, a mill deck, this deck would go out immediately because a mill deck isn't looking to kill me with life, so I could get infinite life. but that's not what but it wouldn't matter because they'd mill me out, so that would leave any mill deck scenario. And so yeah, and the other 5-drop is Obzadot, the guild leader for Orzhov, and he's my favorite guild leader, simply because he's immune to any sorcery removal, so most of the wraths, like Supreme Verdict and Terminus don't kill him unless they manage to Terminus on your turn, but that usually doesn't happen. Because he's immune to all sorceries because he leaves at the end of your turn. Like if you don't know the ability, so at the beginning of your end step, you may exile him and then return him at the beginning of your next upkeep. So it's out for all of their turns. So no, it can't block, but it's immune to all sorceries, and you don't have to blink it if you need the blocker. And it also gains haste, so then it can attack in for 5, blink again, and every single time that it blinks, they lose 2 life and you gain 2 life. And that's a good win condition right there. That is most of my. That's my deck. I run 4 Isolated Chapels and 4 Godel Shrines, the Innistrad and Gate Crash lands in my colors, and then I run 5 Plains and 10 Swamps. I've got more black in here than white, so I run more Swamps. Now let's take a quick look at my sideboard. So my sideboard is so if my opponent does run Wraths, a card that can work well against Wraths is Ogre Slumlord, because if you have it out when they Wrath, and if you suspect them to Wrath, if they're a control deck, mainly white-blue, and you suspect that they have a Wrath, then you could, then what you could do is play an Ogre Slumlord, let it die, and all the creatures on the board that die, you get 1/1 Wraths. They don't have Death Touch because the Ogre Slumlord dies, but you have a lot of 1/1 Rats. And then I noticed, wait a second, Rats, that seems familiar. Maybe we should play Pack Rat. So if you can get an Ogre Slumlord out and then Pack Rat, which is which you can get out afterwards, you have a huge Pack Rat. And I thought that would be a cool combo. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't sided it in. I haven't played a control deck yet. But I wonder if that would work well. I don't know. I haven't tried it. If you guys don't think it would work well, write so in the comments. I can change this deck up. Sideboarding is not my skill, so I can work on that here. And so in my sideboard we also have Death Pact Angel. If I need the flying, or because I didn't want to play it because it's a really big creature, and the big creature doesn't work so well with Extort because this deck won't have that much mana on the battlefield or land, so the Extort won't trigger that much with this. So I thought it's not that useful. I'm still working on it. I might put it in. This is a work in progress deck, so if you guys have any ideas, comment below. I'll listen to them and we can talk about it and change this deck up to be a better deck. Also against Wraths we have Rootborn defenses. It won't populate anything, I believe, except for maybe we can populate the Cleric token, but right, it's Black Cleric, but that's not the goal of the Rootborn defenses. It's more to keep your creatures indestructible against Wraths. And 2 more ultimate prices, as I mentioned before, against any decks that run a lot of multicolored. And Sever the Bloodline for any type of tokens, like Lingering Souls tokens, maybe just a creature. It removes any creature that has Regenerate, and it's a strong card. So I hope you guys enjoy this deck tech. If you guys have absolutely any suggestions, comment below. I'll listen to them, I'll look at them, and I'll see what I can do to make this deck better. Okay? Signing out.